Okay, bail hearing was held today for Dr. Kosowski, and our Alex Caprariello has been following this. He joins me now live. Alex, wow, the details are just too much, and I only hit the tip of the iceberg. Normally in Florida, if you're up on first-degree murder, you do not get bail. So what happened in the hearing today?
Yeah, today the defense was really trying to push to have Kosowski released on bond, also to dismiss the indictment altogether. Ultimately, both of those motions failed. We heard from two very powerful witness testimonies, both of them outlining what they thought happened and how it's impacted them ever since this arrest happened and ever since Steven Cozzi went missing. The judge really hearing hours worth of witness testimony. Ashleigh, as you know, usually these bond hearings are very short, to the point. This one lasted more than 4 hours, about 5 hours, in fact, and the judge took it all in, but ultimately denied that bond.
Well, he wanted to be in his $1 million waterfront mansion, I would like to be there even with an ankle bracelet, but no, I hear you. I'm not surprised that was denied. So the defense says that this whole case is flimsy, but it looks to me like there's actually a massive amount of hard evidence. What do they have?
Yeah, this is the most astounding part of this case. On one hand, the evidence is lacking, right? Because there's no body that's been found up to this point. Law enforcement do not know where Steven Cozzi is. But on the other hand, at the time that Kosowski was arrested, they found a treasure trove of other alarming evidence within his possession. Let's take a look at some of those items. We're talking about $280,000 worth of cash. He had masks, duct tape, a ballistic vest with EMS written on it. He had law enforcement patches. He had a vial of this paralyzing drug. We know that he's a plastic surgeon, but this is something that could really do harm when injected into somebody. He had 200 guns, including 100 rifles. And then this is the James Bond type stuff. He had a newly bought unregistered truck with a device that actually flips the license plate with a click of a button from inside of the cab of the car. And on top of that, he had about 5 or 6 different license plates in rotation. So this is really the evidence that the state is pointing to, saying that not only is Kosowski a flight risk if he is released from jail, but he's also potentially a very dangerous man that could do harm to others if he is let go.
I can't wait to hear what other reasons we would have a license plate flipper with multiple licenses with the push of a button. That's another day. All right, so one of the key witnesses today was the law partner of the victim, Steven Cozzi. What did that person testify to?
Right, we heard from Jake Blanchard. That was Cozzi's boss at the time that Cozzi went missing. He was the one that actually stumbled upon that crime scene when Cozzi all of a sudden did not show up for a hearing. He said he walked into the bathroom and saw blood everywhere, and he called 911, really alarmed about it. We heard that 911 tape today in court. But then also the perhaps more powerful sound actually came from Cozzi's husband, Michael Montgomery. He talked all about over the last year how Cozzi was really nervous, scared, and talked about Kosowski calling him the crazy doctor, that both of them often feared for their lives, knowing that he was often getting threats from him, as you mentioned, at one point being pinned into a bathroom and being hurled at with, awful things that were being said about him. So let's take a listen to more of Michael Montgomery's sound from today's hearing.
When he said Steve was missing, my initial thought was, that Tom had done it, that Tom was responsible for it, because he hated us. He hated us both. He made it very clear. I would absolutely be in danger if you let him out.
I am convinced that if he's let out, he's going to come after me, and I don't want to end up in a landfill.
And that is the ongoing theory, that Cozzi's body is somewhere in a landfill here in the Florida Everglades. And we don't know up until this point. But as you mentioned, Ashleigh, death penalty now on the table. The state's saying that they believe this murder was committed in a cold, calculated, premeditated way. And they say they want to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Wow, that is powerful testimony. I don't want to end up in a landfill. Holy cow. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.